What's your name, son?
Han.
What? Who are your people?
I don't have people. I'm alone.
Indiana Jones. Solo, a Star Wars story.
I was gonna say something about Solo, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah, well, that's Solo.
That's Solo.
Solo for the franchise. I don't think this is the worst film in Star Wars.
Is it the worst Disney Star Wars?
I think it is. Yeah, Solo, I remember seeing it with you, and we both were surprised by how little of a mess it seemed to be, given the immense behind-the-scenes problems it faced.
Yeah.
I think we both agreed that it felt much more cohesive than we would have thought.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Definitely. It's not a mess.
It's not a mess of a film. It's really rushed.
It's super rushed.
Like, it tries to do too much.
It has almost no scene of a character talking to another character. So it starts with a car chase that you and I both think is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
The first 40 minutes of this movie is pretty good.
I feel like this film should have just been like about him learning to be a pilot.
Absolutely.
Just him learning to be a pilot, because from the start he's an amazing pilot.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ, he makes like this move.
Yeah.
And it kind of like drifts, like it's not 360, it's like a 300-degree circle, and it's really cool.
You're forgetting though that he fucks up the drives through the alley, so he's.
That was already a really hard thing to do. So
there's a scene where Han threatens Lady Proxima with a thermal detonator, which he's got in his hand, and she's like, "That's a rock." He's like, "No, it's not." She's like, "Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes, it is. Now we're gonna kill you." And he's like, "No, you're not." And he throws it and breaks a window, and it scalds her with the light. And it's a good scene. It's a really fun scene.
It's good. Like
that side of Han is good.
Up to that point, the film is getting fun.
Yeah.
Then he goes to the Imperial
border,
and they actually like what is it called when they
bribe.
give the money? They bribe
a female officer,
and she actually takes it. It's great.
Yeah, she accepts the bribe, and then she hides it.
And
then she calls the guards on them anyway.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, they're giving personality to the Imperials.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. And then Han and Kira are separated. Kira's his childhood friend, his love. Han is recruited into the Imperial Navy. And that's when the worst scene for many fans happens of this film.
Yeah.
Which is where the guard asks, "Who are your people?" I have no people.
I have no people.
Han Mohammed.
No.
It's the most common name. Han Smith.
No.
Han Jones.
No.
Your name will be Han Indiana Jones. Han is recruited into the Imperial military. The guard says, "We'll have you flying in no time." Smash cut into, he's blown across a battlefield, and it's World War One. It's like absolute hell.
I don't like that. I don't like that cut.
Why not?
The cut to Smash cut to
Love it.
To the battle. I kind of feel like it's a bit out of nowhere.
No, it's great.
I feel like it should have been the movie should have rised up with like hope, like I don't know, the music rises and then it cuts to him falling down.
Oh well, no, that's a huge problem with this movie, which is that the music is not great, at all. It's by far the worst Star Wars score.
I like the idea of it happening, but it's not executed well.
He hooks up with Tobias Beckett and his crew, who he at first thinks are fellow soldiers, but then he finds out are smugglers.
No, I actually really like how he finds out.
Yep.
Because they're like, "Oh, who's next in command?"
You are captain.
It's you. You are captain.
And then they'll
look
start
down
laughing.
and it's gonna start laughing. And in that shot, you can see
the blasts.
Like, a lot of bullets from blast.
Yeah,
that are
on
not
the armor.
Scratches. Those are like penetrated through. And that's how Han discovers that he stole the uniform from a dead body.
That's where Christopher Nolan got the idea for Dunkirk, for the French soldier. He saw Solo, a Star Wars story. He's like, "It's a masterpiece.
Yes,
I need to steal from this."
Yes.
Pretty sure Dunkirk
That's why
was
Dunkirk
already
ends
filmed.
with the Cthulhu monster.
Yeah, Dunkirk ends with Tom Hardy shooting at this giant sea creature. That'd be great. Yeah, no, they turn him in. They're like, this guy's a deserter. He's like trying to leave, blah blah blah. And then the stormtrooper's like, throw him in the pit with the beast. And he's like, the beast? There's a beast. Throws him into the mud.
And what a beast!
What a beast!
Oh, it's Chewbacca. It's great.
It's Chewbacca. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
cool.
Woody Harrelson's awesome in everything.
It's really good. Yeah.
He's actually really good as Beckett.
I remember seeing him.
Is he? Do you think he's the best performance in the movie?
Best performance. It's probably. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna.
He's
say yes.
definitely the character that's written the most consistent.
Yeah.
Because he's always like, I'm going to betray
Well,
you.
yes.
That's all he ever says.
Yes, he wears a red cape.
Wears a big red flag on his back.
Yeah. But I guess he's the best performance. I wouldn't say it's the best part because I think Chewbacca is the best part.
Yeah, Chewbacca's the best performance.
He's really good.
We love that Wookiee.
Chewbacca is really good in this. Chewbacca got redeemed from Last Jedi. It's amazing.
Oh, well, in Last Jedi, he doesn't have anything to do.
He doesn't do anything, literally.
He gets yelled at by Rey for not flying the Falcon well enough. You forgot about that, didn't you? That's actually one of the moments where I, in the theater, was like, this is ridiculous. So funny. Anyway, they try to pull off the heist. I think it's the best part of the movie, the train heist. It makes no sense.
It's a bit long.
But it's long because you've got to
kind of got
introduce the train, then you've got to introduce the snowtroopers, then you've got to introduce Enfys Nest, then you've got to introduce the Viper droids, then you've got to have May sacrifice herself, then you've got to have them pick up the cart, then you've got to have them like struggle over it, and then you've got to have the explosion, and that's when it's over. It does have a lot of stuff to fit in there. I think it's actually pretty well constructed.
I don't think
it does, because Enfys Nest needs to show up.
Enfys Nest needs to show up, and I guess the train needs guards.
Train go boom.
The train needs guards on its own. And the characters have to die.
Anyway, they fail the heist. They have to drop the payload because Enfys Nest, who are a group of pirates, are trying to steal it.
And this is the point that we stop talking about this film because this is from this point on is when it gets really boring.
Yeah, so from this point on
Really boring.
is when we feel like Ron Howard takes over completely. Like, Paul Bettany's character was originally played by Michael K. Williams as a creature. I don't know if it was going to be motion capture or what, but Paul Bettany was brought on by Ron Howard to do the scenes for the movie.
To become Crimson.
To become,
Crimson
what's his name?
Nah,
God, we just watched it. I can't remember his name.
I don't remember.
No, Dryden. Dryden Voss. I got it.
How do you remember?
I got it. I have this. Mate, I just like Dryden Voss, who is a character who has these long gashes on his face, and when he gets aggressive, they go red.
He looks like the guy from Avatar.
Which one?
The general.
Oh, Quaritch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like
Quaritch.
that, but in here, whenever he gets angry, he becomes a tomato.
No, I love that you never noticed that like they glow bright red.
No,
because the movie is so dark.
Yeah. Yes, and apparently he's an alien.
He is an alien.
Because when he dies, he's like completely white.
Spoiler alert, when he dies at the end of the movie, he becomes fully
Yes.
albino. You only see it in the background of a shot. But
He becomes an albino. Like,
it's a nice touch that they don't do anything with. They don't just meet Lando though.
They mean L3.
Do you want to talk about L3?
I want to talk about a great scriptwriter.
Yeah.
A great actress and scriptwriter.
Yeah.
Who wrote a great TV show, an English TV show called Fleabag.
So to recap our history with Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yes.
I had not seen her in anything before this. I see Solo. The character of L3, and I'm just going to tell it truthfully, she's so annoying. She is like almost
parody.
It feels like a parody of feminists.
Yes, it's weird.
Like I know these are legitimate beliefs, but the fact that it's coming from a droid and the fact that she is like 90% of her dialogue is just her complaining.
Every single line of hers is that, or she has fucked Lando.
Yeah, I mean, like every line is like meant to be a parable for some real world gender inequality movement. Like one of her first lines is when Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother, who's like a referee in like droid fights, comes out and he's like, "I'm gonna shut off your switch," and then she grabs him, pushes him up the game's like, "Try finding it," which is of course like a G-spot joke. Like there's all sorts of stuff like that in the movie. But the point is that L3 has very little emotional investment, and then she dies, and it's meant to be like one of the emotional moments of the movie. And not just for Lando, like the music gets sad. It's meant to be like a devastating death, and you just don't feel it. So she feels like a bit of a wasted character, and she feels very unnecessary to the film. One of the weird things they do is they make her part of the Falcon. And
That's the worst part of the film.
Yeah, and then the creepy thing about that is that a droid who the whole film has been campaigning against being enslaved is enslaved into the Falcon, and one of the last lines of the film is Han playing sabacc with Lando. And he's like, you really want the Falcon bad, don't you? And Han's like, oh, trust me, she belongs with me. And that is so creepy when you know that L3's consciousness is inside the ship.
They solved the heist.
Yep, they pull off the heist. They have to go through the Kessel Run, which they never explain, like, what the parsecs are or how they work. I don't care.
They kind of, like, throw some lines in there, like, oh, we have to do the Kessel Run. But it's like...
It doesn't look that hard.
But the Kessel Run is just going through some tunnels through the storm, right? And then they do it on less distance because they go through the...
Yeah, that's how it works, yeah.
So that's pretty much what the Kessel Run is, why it did it in 12 bars legs.
Yep, right.
It's actually rounding up, is 13.
Oh, that's Chewbacca's
One
joke.
of the best... really
not if
funny
you're round down, buddy. There's a giant squid monster in there that they have to fight.
Yeah, Cthulhu.
And it is a threat to them for less than 1 minute.
It's really funny.
It's really weird that it's in there.
No, it's a threat for them for like 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, easily. Like it's whatever. It's a giant squid monster. They have to pour hyperfuel. It's the ending of Star Trek 2009. And you think the movie's over?
Well, and I find it funny. Like I liked in that scene. The only thing I like in that scene is that they actually keep trashing the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
And it's really, when you first see the Millennium Falcon, it's really shiny and like, oh, I put all these like upgrades into it. And
I worked so hard on my ship.
He completely fucks it up. It's
great.
Yeah.
But I like that it gets its U shape from ejecting the escape pod. That's a nice touch. Yeah. But Emphas Nest are fighting Crimson Dawn, which is Kira's clan, and they're fighting Dryden Voss. So Han offers to help them essentially. Beckett leaves saying, "Oh, I'm not interested in fighting them. You go. I'm just going to go and I'm going to walk across this desert planet and
I don't have a ship
somehow
or
leave.
anything.
I don't have a ship. I'm just going to walk off into the distance." They get all the crystals. They get the coaxium, which they're stealing, and they head off towards Beckett's ship, which is the same way towards Dryden's ship, which is the same way Beckett went. Then they go up to Dryden. He's like, "Oh, hello," and he's just like touching their faces. He's grabbing them on their heads. He's like, "Oh, so you're lying to me? You're lying to me?" And then he's like, "Beckett, come in here." And it's the movie's second dun dun dun. Tobias Beckett betrayed them. Who would have guessed? If only he'd told them that he was going to betray them.
If only he told them.
Big red flags.
He literally said it.
He literally said it. Assume everyone will betray you. Anticipate your opponent's next move.
And it did.
I'm Woody Harrelson in a Star Wars movie. I'm going to betray someone.
And then they, the Crimson Dawn guys ambush the...
ambush Emphas Nest.
Emphas Nest. And then...
It's a reverse! Han throws down a reverse Uno card into the middle of the room.
The fallen captain takes out its helmet and it's revealed to be the old woman.
Which implies that they all know that it's a young woman who leads them. That they don't think it's the right person.
Yeah, you think about
There's no reason they wouldn't think it was the leader of Emphas Nest.
Yeah.
Beckett kills the Crimson Dawn guards and flees with the fuel. There's a fight between Han and Beckett and Dryden Voss.
Wait a second.
What?
Beckett, Dryden,
Dryden Voss, yeah, Paul Bettany.
His officers are in the top floor, right?
You assume, yeah.
So Beckett had to go all the way down in the elevator, and then was able to just walk out. I thought he had like a lot.
Why
of
didn't he
time.
kill everyone and take the ship? Like, where's he going to go?
Why doesn't he take the ship?
Why doesn't he take the ship? Where is he going? Han and Kira fight Dryden Voss. And then Kira chops Han's gun in half, or knocks it away, and holds Han down and is about to kill Han. In a moment that is very similar to The Last Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
Where Kira is seconds away from killing Han, and Dryden's like, she always knows what she has to do. And she's like, yes, I learned how to find my enemy's weakness and exploit it. And then she stabs Dryden and kills him. And her and Han.
He becomes grey.
Yeah,
White.
he turns albino. Her and Han have a kiss. They seem like they're gonna go off together. Han's like, I've got to go chase down Beckett, and she's like, yeah, Chewbacca needs you. Go. And then Beckett is like miles away from the ship by this point.
Yeah.
Han somehow gets in front of him in
Yeah,
like
that's right.
1 minute.
1 minute he gets in
All
front
he
of
had to do was run up behind him. That's all it had to be. And then we have the Beckett. Beckett basically says, Han, I taught you everything except how to... And then Han just shoots him before he can pull his gun on him.
Yeah.
So that's why Han shoots first. That's the kind of payoff for
That's
that.
the whole story.
That's the whole story, is that he had a guy who told him he'd betray him many times, and Han finally took the message and killed him. Kira calls the leader of Crimson Dawn. Played by... Dun dun dun!
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oh my god, quite Liam Neeson! How much did they have to pay you to be in this?
Liam Neeson.
No,
Neeson's in
you
it.
silly! It's the guy who killed Liam Neeson.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No, it was he did let him die. No, Darth Maul shows
Darth
up.
Maul shows up for some reason. He has the
He has mechanical legs from where he got cut in
legs.
half.
Yeah.
Magic legs. That was Solo, effectively. Han wins the Falcon at the end. He strings up his very important dice, which we didn't mention in this podcast.
Oh, we have
because
to
they're
talk
not...
about the
Okay,
dice.
let's talk about the dice.
Only-
They're in the
only-
first scene, and they are the last shot of this movie. Do you like Solo? Did you enjoy watching it this time more than in theaters?
No.
I enjoyed it less, yeah.
I enjoyed the beginning more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I got bored. Really bored.